Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. I hope the microphone is working good today. You have to let me know if it sounds good or not, and then I'll try to adjust from there. As you can see, there's some changes going on in the shop. It's a mess. It is a big, big mess. I decided to move everything, get it off of that wall over there, clean up stuff, was hanging on the wall, stuff that was stuck into the 2x4s and all that sort of thing. And so I have now removed all that. Of course, it's stuffed all over the garage. And I've started insulating. So it's already feeling warmer in here, believe it or not. Now, it helps that it also is 52 degrees right now. That helps a lot. Temperature this morning was right at 30, 32 degrees. And it was rather chilly. And of course, I come out here in the morning and I turn on the mini split and try to get the heat moving. And now that I've added some more insulation, I think it feels even better. I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute. However, if you're new to the live stream, typically we talk about classic cars. Typically. Sometimes we talk about food. Sometimes we talk about movies. Who knows? Sometimes we just talk about life. And that's okay too. Because, hey, we all have life to deal with every day. If you are new here and you have a question, you can ask the question. And if it's a good question, I'll give you a bell. Whoops, wait, give you a bell. If I get a good answer, I give you a bell. And sometimes I just give random bells just because I feel like it. A little bit of a reward system going on. But I already have some people here. I think I have 19 viewing. If you would, hit the thumbs up button on YouTube. Let them know that we're doing this and that you like it, and we're going to continue on. I do these live streams on Monday nights at 7 and Thursday afternoons at 3. And I do that to try to catch up with people in different parts of the world, and it seems to work pretty good. So here we are. First in early today, Crash Rider. Good afternoon. Expecting to see some visible progress on the shop. Ta-da! There it is. Visible progress. And I'll point out, you'll probably notice I'm going to mention now since we brought it up again. I'm doing away with the window. When I built this shop, I thought, well, I need to have windows in here to get some natural light. And, it helps. It does. But is it necessary? No, not really. I've got 3 windows on this side that are going to stay. And I may eliminate all 3 windows on that side. Now, when I say eliminate, I'm not taking them out of the building. I'm not taking them out. What I did is I actually took a 2x4 and I notched it so that it would fit around the framework of the window. And I notched it. I took cardboard and I put inside of that against the glass just to kind of help with the appearance of it, because otherwise putting insulation up there, you would see the backside of the insulation. May not be the best thing. So put some cardboard up there and put in some insulation. Now, the benefits, there's benefits to having windows and not. And at this point, if I put something like, I have that cabinet over there, right? If I want to move that cabinet over here, I can't. I could, technically, but it's kind of a hindrance to block the window with it. And also I lose heat out of those. So, hey, I can eliminate some windows, add some more of the strip lights that I have up here. Put a couple more of those over there, light up that corner and be all good. Now, I'm also experimenting with how I want to lay things out. For years, I've had the toolbox right behind me where you see it, where you'd see it up against that wall. And then I had my bench right there, and I may or may not continue with that. I haven't decided yet. I'm playing with measurements and different things. I'm going to eliminate this pile of metal. And by eliminate, I don't mean totally get rid of it, but I am going to move it maybe to outside. I don't use that metal frequently enough to justify having it take up whatever that is, 6 square feet of space and plus the vertical, right? The only thing that's keeping it there is the window. And again, if I eliminate the window, I can put in more shelf units. I can hang more artwork, stuff like that. So anyway, let's continue on. Crash Rider. Everyone hit the thumbs up button when signing in. Yes. Rick Stevenson checking in. Glad you're here. Terry Keithley, afternoon Barry and all Burr. Please hit the like and thumbs up. Thank you all. Yes. Yeah, the temperature, like I said, this morning it was 30, right at 30 degrees. They're predicting. This isn't fun at all. Saturday a low of 20. Sunday a low of 22. And then it's kind of even out a little more upward from there. But those are cold. That's cold temperatures. Not good. Oh, speaking of, before I forget. Oh, let me go the other way. I know you can't see it now. I think I put it on the video that I'm making. My fuse panel has a ground cable or strap or whatever, rod, that comes out and goes down beside the wall here. And there's a 2-inch piece of pipe right there. I had forgotten about. I didn't even realize it was there. You know, I've had the toolbox there for years, so I've had a 2-inch piece of pipe with a 1/4-inch grounding cable, whatever, going through it. So basically, I had a 2-inch hole of cold air that could come in from outside at any time. Spiders and whatever. And I never really noticed it until I moved the toolbox, started cleaning it up, and I was like, oh, what's that cold air coming from? And I found it. So I spray foamed that thing, filled it up, and got rid of one air source that was obviously causing problems. Let's see. Troy Yussit. Good afternoon, always sunny and cool, 55 degrees in coastal Georgia today. That's a good temperature, really. Bob Noel, good afternoon, Bear. I need your expert help on something. Okay. I'm not sure. We'll see what's going on. Bob, my neighbor called the police on me for working my Mustang at 3:30 in the afternoon. How do I fix dents without hammering on the body? Thank you, sir. Well, 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay. So that's not late in the afternoon, or not, like middle of the night or anything. Do you live in a HOA? That's always a good question. They could always cause problems. I'm not sure what the restrictions could be from the police or what they could do on that. If that's a question you're asking, removing dents, or how do I fix dents without hammering on a body, the only other alternative really is paintless dent repair, and you have to pay somebody to do that because it's not something you just learn in watching a couple videos. So I don't know if that helps or not, but that's bizarre that they would. Maybe they were just upset. I don't know. Did they work second shift or third shift? Have weird sleeping hours? Maybe take that into consideration. I don't know. And yes, I hit the thumbs up. Good idea. Good. Jerry checking in from Middle Tennessee at the Money Pit. Glad you're here. Ray Buckman, good afternoon, gents. 28 degrees in Lightstone, Colorado. I am so over winter. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll give you a bell for that. No more winter. Don't want it. Ray, Bob, what did the police say? Yeah, what do we need to figure out more about that. Nandu, good afternoon, everybody. Jerry, I had a neighbor call the police on me working on a motorcycle engine. However, it was 11 p.m., and I was very noisy. The police just told me to quiet it down. Okay. Terry, sorry to hear that, Bob. People are so pitiful these days and age. It seems that way, doesn't it? Paul Tootie. Bob, you need a bigger hammer. Rusty from Rusty's Mustang Garage. Good afternoon, all. Boogie Bomb checking in from Nashville. Terry Keith, maybe a BFH. Yeah. Jerry says, Boogie Bomb, we need to get together and have a coffee. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Mason. Hey, Joe Daddy's Garage, how's it going? Guess what? Vinyl record album I'm playing. Van Halen, Running with the Devil. Okay, that's a good album. That's a very good album. I'll give you a bell for that. That's a good album. Dave Conville checking in. Bob, no, I think you're right, Paul. Robert, afternoon all, the insulation looks good. I have been sanding drywall and covered in drywall dust. Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing I didn't really want to do is the drywall sanding. So that's why I'm using that paneling I was talking about before. Mason, hey, Robert, do you remember Van Halen Running with the Devil? I'm playing it on vinyl record. And Charlie Settleman, afternoon all. Steve Grimes, good afternoon, Barry and gang from frozen southern Pennsylvania. Yeah, yeah. Don't miss it, Steve. I don't miss it. Never will. Robert, my shop has no windows and I don't miss them. I need all this wall space I can get to store stuff I will store forever and never use. Exactly right. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, a couple episodes ago. Mason, I've got a bunch of cassette tapes too. I've even also got Van Halen running the devil on cassette and Kiss and cassette tape. Okay, cool. And he's got a cassette tape of Aerosmith, Permanent Vacation. All good stuff. Dawn, hello all. Mid-30s and breezy today for the PDX weather report. Thank you, Dawn, for the weather report. Bob, I've lived in my house for 35 years. Police laughed at him and said he has till 11 p.m. tonight. Okay, that's a good call. I mean, really, they can't really, I don't know how they could stop you from doing things. If that were the case, and if somebody was building a house in a neighborhood and hammering nails, would they call the police and say, this guy's hammering nails over here, get off my lawn? I don't know. He's 82 years old. Yeah. Yep. And Boogie Bum says, the money pit, that would be great. We're talking to Jerry. I'll send my info to Barry if he would be willing to forward it to you. Yeah. Yeah, send me an email and let me know what we have there. We can cross over and y'all get together and have some coffee. Sounds like a plan. Okay. Okay, Mason, wanted to ask you the clock. What kind of clock does you have on the back wall? That was it's a really big. It's like 18 inches. Advanced Auto Parts was the clock with a neon band around it. That's one I won as a grand opening thing. It's currently not obviously on the wall, but I will be putting it back up. And I've got a lot of strategizing to do on this, trying to figure out what I'm going to want, where, and why. It's almost like when I worked at the airline, at Delta, we would have events on occasion to where it was they have this thing called 5S, where you study your environment kind of thing, and you eliminate what you don't need and organize what you do need, and that sort of thing. And the reality is you need to organize things that are the priority. So as an example, this is just a scenario. If you have 3 guys in a shop and you have they all do basically the same job, right? And one is here, one is here, one is here. And there's a toolbox that is over, let's say, on this side. And all 3 of them use the tools out of that toolbox. And they only have one of each tool in that toolbox. And they're all, let's say that it just so happens they're working the same job kind of thing, right? And this guy grabs the tool and he's using it. And this guy can't get it because this guy's using it kind of situation. So they try to justify buying another tool. So part of that is, let's say this guy walks 37 steps to get that tool, 37 steps back, uses it, walks 37 steps, walks 37 steps. That's part of the formula that they use in that situation. So, if they can say, well, this guy's wasting X number of hours a month walking back and forth to get that tool, and then this guy, who may have it and now he can't use it, how many extra hours is he wasting waiting for that tool? It's kind of a whole formula type of thing. So anyway, that's all. There's a 6 Sigma and 5S and all those. I've thought about doing this like as actually a side thing. Like, how can I help somebody organize stuff? 'Cause not that I'm saying I have the best organization skills, but I can understand how things should kind of go together. So I have to think about that. If I want to keep stuff where I had it, it all worked fine. There was no real conflict. I liked having the toolbox up here in this side because typically if I'm working on a car that's outside the garage, the toolbox is right there. Or I will turn cars around inside the garage, and the front of the car, typically was what I'm working on, the front will be facing out, and it'll be close to that toolbox. So you have to think about those sort of things. The other thing is I have a mobile toolbox. So it may not even really matter how much of this toolbox, where it sits, because I work primarily out of that mobile toolbox anyway. And then you look at the bench, and I have my drill press on it, and my bench vise, and hardware, and that sort of thing. And it's like, well, where do I normally have to go to find these things, you know? And that's kind of how you look at it. Kind of how what's the priority in the sequence. So that's what I'm going to do some of that. Now, whether I change anything yet, I don't know. I know that there's room for improvement. We'll put it that way. Over here on this side of the shop, I actually have on my paint shaker mounted to my heavy steel table that I bought as a welding table. It's 1/2-inch thick plate. It was a surplus item, and I thought, oh, I'll make that my welding table. It never became my welding table. It became a hammer and dolly table, and it also, because the paint shaker's on it, it's heavy. It's a heavy thing, so it keeps the paint shaker stable. So it's serving a purpose. But if I move the table, then the paint shaker has to be likely over here, because this is where I do all my paint mixing, my Bondos and my body filler and stuff like that. So I have to kind of consider all the steps. But at this point, the main thing is to get the paneling up and get the wall painted. Once I'm going to work from that section that way, get the paneling up, get it painted, finish it, and then move everything kind of in a temporary position or whatever, get it out of the way, and then work my way that direction, which is going to be more difficult because of the cabinets, all the steel, what's going to get tossed, all that sort of thing. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Let's see. Bob, the police officer came, looked at my Mustang, and wanted to buy it. He said, if you're going to sell that. Oh, he asked, wait a minute. He said, you're going to sell it when you're done. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I looked at a couple ads on Facebook earlier today and sent some messages to some people, there's some Mustangs in the area that I may try to, again, go look at. I don't know if I'll be able to get them or not, but we'll see. Crash Rider, got to watch out for those old folks. They become irritated easily. Some do. Robert, 70 degrees this weekend. That wall needs a mini split to match the other side. That wouldn't be a bad idea, but I think once I get it all completed, all the insulation and everything done, the mini split's going to do even better. Yeah, it's going to do even better, the one I have. Donald Rice, hi Barry from Jeanette, Pennsylvania. Glad you're here. Mason, so I have this neon clock. It's got the neon round thing in the clock. How can I fix it so it lights up all around the clock? I don't know. I don't know what, you'd have to find somebody who works on that sort of stuff. And I couldn't tell you anybody that I know would be able to fix that. Ray Buckman, I want to be there. I want to be the crazy old guy that no one wants to take out in public. Yeah, I'm already that guy. I'm already that guy. Jeff, hi Barry and all 34 other viewers from, not 34 other viewers from Barking. Hi Barry and all to all the 34 other viewers from Barking, East London of UK. I was going to say, man, did you get 34 other people to join the live stream? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Charlie, you want to organize Barry? Come to my garage and basement. Well, probably not. There's always a long running debate as to how, you can look at what I have in here and go, oh, this is, to me, it's all clutter. Most of it's all cluttered up. But the reality is, it's fairly decently organized. I just have some things that I really don't need. We all know that. Let's see. Mason, do you remember Goodyear tires? I have a Goodyear baseball cap a friend gave me that used to work at the Goodyear tire shop. Yeah, of course. Goodyear's still around. They're still around. You know what? I have a comment since you brought up tires. I've been seeing lately on like uh, Dodge Challengers or Dodge Chargers. Um, maybe I don't know if I've seen them on Camaros. They sell these tires now that have a bold lettering on them, not like white. The old white lettering. They'll have a yellow. You know what I'm talking about? They're usually a low profile tire, performance type tire. I don't know who makes them, and it'll have a really cool looking yellow branding on both sides. And you look at an old white letter tire, and okay, I've seen that before. But then you see these cars riding around with these yellow, whatever, cool looking tires, and I kind of like that. It makes me think of like Hot Wheels. You'd have some sort of a logo on the tires, even like this old muscle machine here, this Studebaker. You can't see it, but it's got white lettering on the tires, and it's kind of cool looking on the modern car with those accents. But I saw the other day somebody had a I don't know, Honda Accord or something, and it was a 4-door, and it was just a plain nothing car as far as daily driver. It wasn't like a high end, whatever. It wasn't a performance car, and it had those tires on it. And I stopped for a minute, and I was like, let me look at that. Well, I realized it didn't have those tires on it. Apparently, you can buy stick-on white letters or whatever to put on your tires. So this person had a generic set of tires, and they had bought this, I don't know how you'd put it on, just sticky. They had bought these things and stuck them to the tires. At least that's my assumption, because the letters were falling off. I took a picture of it, and I was like, I didn't. First of all, I don't know anything about them, even the ones that are whatever brand they are. Yeah. So as it turns out, these are Kumo tires. Okay, Kumo tires, and look, there's the lettering just peeling off. I was like, what? So they had bought, I guess the package. Oh, it was a Kia. Sorry, it was a Kia. They had bought the Supreme lettering, and I was like, really? Because you can even you can't really see it. It says Kumo, and then S blah blah Ream. I just thought it was pretty funny. Pretty funny. Let's see. Bob Knoll, put LED lights all the way around the clock. That's an idea. That's an idea. You can buy those little LED kits. Sell them on Amazon. You can buy a roll of LEDs. That's not it'd be an interesting idea, Bob. Now you got me thinking a little bit. I could get a roll of those LEDs and put them all the way at the top edge and run them around the perimeter of the shop. Have the mood lighting LED set up. But yeah, you could put those around the clock. That should work too. And Bob's saying thank you to Jeff. Mason, muscle machine model cars. I haven't seen those at all. Where can I get some at what store sell them? They used to sell them. Gosh, I don't know if they still sell them or not. I have several of those. I don't know if I can get to them. And I probably have one. Let me see if I can get this one out of here. Let me just ignore me for a second. Okay, this one, I don't know if I've seen another one of these. Check this out. That's a GM Goodwrench, Dale Earnhardt, Camaro, muscle machine. Covered in dust. That might be worth something. I don't even know. I I think you can still get them online. I think you can get them online. And then I have another one. If I can get it out. This is like a, whoa. This is the bigger version. I didn't even realize it was this big. Holy cow. So I've got a 69 Camaro muscle machine. That one's even bigger. That's crazy. I didn't know they made different sizes. Oh, this is 1/18 scale. Check that out. You know, if these things wouldn't get all crusty, I'd have them up on the wall. I'd have them all up on the wall. So that's a 1/16 scale, or 1/18 scale. This one is 1/24. So the Dale Earnhardt one is 1/24. But I haven't looked for them. I guess they're available online. I don't know. I think that's all I have for the muscle machines. I've got a couple other. They're all kind of stuck back here behind the computer or the laptop. But so that's all I can tell you, Mason. You have to look online. Rick, I have a lot going on right now. I just want to say a quick hello. Hope everybody's doing well. Glad you're here, Rick. I'm glad you're here. Greg's Workshop checking in. Glad you're here, Greg. James Smothers, taco salad or goulash? Oh, yeah, no, taco salad. Taco salad, I think. I'm not even sure I can tell you what goulash is. I'm not sure. Sounds like it's something made from cabbage. I don't know. Yeah, I would probably do taco salad. In fact, James, since you brought that up, my wife made a meal last night because we had all our kids here and our 2 grandkids. So she made a big meal of, I don't know if you ever tried these, taco cupcakes. Anybody tried taco cupcakes? Just asking. Apparently you take some wonton wrap stuff, push it down into a tray, like a cupcake tray, put your meat in there and your cheese or whatever and black beans or whatever you want, fill up the tray, bake it, and you've got taco cupcakes. Ray Buckman, dust makes it more valuable, seems to work for barn find cars. Yeah. Well, I just realized too, this one, when I was moving it around, apparently it's not, something's loose in there. Like the car isn't strapped down. Like maybe I had this out, or I might have bought this at a yard sale and it was taken out of the box and put back in. But I just really think those are cool looking little cars. James, afternoon, Barry. Glad you're here, James. Mason, I've got a 1/8 scale Budweiser NASCAR model car. It's got the thing on the hood that says King of Beers. Yep. Bob, I have a bunch of cars from when Earnhardt was alive. One for each of my boys, so it's a good collection for them. You know, I have a bunch of stuff from probably 90, 91, 92, maybe 93, stuff. I know I have a 1/18 scale, a big Dale Earnhardt car. I've got several different stuff, but I probably have at least 2, maybe 3 boxes, good-sized boxes, packed full of NASCAR collectible stuff. And it's just sitting. I don't have any use for it. I've thought about digging it out. And the market is kind of weird. Some things, you think are going to be worth something and they're not. Others bring crazy money. I even have like the Dale Earnhardt. If you remember, what is it? The Corvette they raced. They had that road course race where it was a yellow Corvette. I think him and his dad raced together. I have a scale model of one of those. But I have so many of those things that I'm just like, I don't know what to do with them. Because you start displaying them and you just get dusty and dirty and you got to clean them and all that stuff, or put them in a glass case and anyway, just saying. Terry James, I hate goulash. Yeah, I don't even know what goulash is. Somebody has to give me a definition of what goulash is because I don't know. Lalina DeQuina. Hi, Barry. Robert's better half. Just want to say hi now that I have the power to leave a comment. Oh, okay. Cool. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Hope all is well. Ray Buckman, I'm with goulash. What does that mean? I vote goulash? So Terry said he voted goulash. I don't even know what goulash is. Y'all lost me at goulash. I don't even know. I have no idea. So I'm going to have to default to taco salad. James Smothers, goulash is like spaghetti, but with elbow noodles and diced tomatoes. I'm guessing wife puts it in a baking dish with mozzarella baked on. Okay. Now that sounds pretty good. That actually sounds pretty good. Spaghetti with elbow noodles and diced tomatoes. Throw some meat in there and you got me. You got me. Throw some meat in there too. Throw some meat in there. And I'm all for it. Sounds good. Okay, you can call me Jerry though. Yeah, well, now that I know. When I first saw the comment, I was like, well, who is this person? Because, I've heard of you as Jerry, but I never saw the name like that. So now we know. And I know that Robert is good at blocking people that are trying to get in here and spam this live stream. So he left this person through. What's going on? Bob Knoll, goulash all day. Goulash is mostly spaghetti with small noodles. Okay. And Karsten, good evening all. Hi from Denmark. From Denmark. Hi Karsten, glad you're here. James, it's full of hamburger. Okay, well see now you're getting me you're getting me better going here. Goulash sounds good to me now, but I still like taco salad. So I don't know maybe I've had goulash and just didn't know it. Maybe somebody just called it macaroni and cheese and hamburger. That's what it sounds like, mac and cheese with hamburger and tomatoes. I will eat that all day long. Marshall, howdy folks. My wife makes something she calls goulash. I'm extremely interested in what goulash actually is. Okay. We would have to have a definition of what your wife makes and she calls goulash. Okay. Oh. Let's see, Robert. Goulash was a sentence for Mad Max in the Thunderdome. Was the sentence? No. It wasn't goulash. It was gulag. Gulag? I think it was gulag. It wasn't goulash. You were close, though. Jeff, awesome, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that very, very, very much. Awesome. Robert, she would make me do the bathroom towel in a herringbone pattern if I banned her. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, herringbone. No, not a good choice. Steve, in Pennsylvania, it's mac and tomatoes. I can't say that I've actually had that. I mean, I may have had goulash, but I've never heard anybody say mac and tomatoes. Now you got me thinking. Now I want to make goulash now. That sounds really good. Greg's workshop, Barry, the workshop is looking good. Yes, thank you, Greg. It's getting better. Now, here's another slight conundrum I have. You see all my wiring coming out of that fuse panel, right? I'm debating. I've said it before. This panel, the plywood that I put up here, the paneling, is going to cover that, or go over that. But what I'm thinking about doing is not putting insulation in there, simply because it's just going to get in the way. Like if I wanted to add some more wiring, I would pull that panel off. I would have to pull that insulation out, and it might be easier to just not mess with it. So anyway, there's just a question. What you think? Should I finish putting that insulation up there or not? Jerry, gulag. Yes. See? But goulash is, yeah, your punishment is goulash. Ed, is that Iron Man just tossed on top of the toolbox? Actually, that's one. There's only two out today. But yeah, that's the one that was. He just went for a little nap up there. So yeah, good eye, Ed. James, I'll send you a recipe later. Okay, I'm all for it. I mean, I end up watching these videos like on TikTok. These people that are professional chefs, and they're making these steaks and these nice vegetable meals and all kinds of cool stuff. And it's like, and I'm eating my can of ravioli as I'm watching them make this fantastic. Uh, what's the steak that wagyu, the amazing steaks? And I've never had. I think it's wagyu. I've never had it, but man, this guy was cooking some stuff. Cool Store 187. Hi from New Zealand. Listening. Can't watch. Stay safe. Glad you're here, Cool Store. Give you a bell for that. Sorry if that bell was extra loud. Troy. I'm with Marshall. My wife makes something she calls goulash, but I don't think that's what it is. I don't care for it. Taco salad for me. See, there you go. That's an easy one. Taco salad is pretty easy. Thomas, there is a breakfast goulash as well. Delicious. Now, see, I don't know what, I guess I've never really looked at goulash at all. I mean, how did they come up with that name? It just sounds kind of weird. But a breakfast goulash. So, what makes it goulash? Now we're on food. Okay, so what makes it goulash? What is it? What ingredient makes it goulash? That's the question. What ingredient or what pair of ingredients? Like hamburger helper. Well, it's helper and hamburger, right? We know that. But what makes it goulash? When you say breakfast goulash, there has to be something it crosses over that defines it as goulash. I don't know what the answer is, but that sounds interesting. James, use blown in type insulation. Yeah. Well, you're talking about the spray foam stuff? Because I've used spray foam in the ceiling, and I would have liked to have used spray foam, but it's so expensive. That's why I just went with standard fiberglass. Karsten, goulash Hungarian soup with meat. Okay. I'll take some of that too. That sounds really good. Again, what defines it as goulash? What makes goulash be the name? Somebody help me with that. Chris, I would run a chase of maybe 2-inch PVC pipe through the studs to give you a place to feed wires. That's not a bad idea. I don't know if I could get that in there right now, simply because of all the wiring that's already up there. And I'm not taking any of that out. I'm not undoing any wiring. But it's not a bad idea. I mean, especially at the top there. It's not a bad idea. I may have to consider that. Thank you for that. Troy, a real handyman would put a decorative braid on those electrical wires and display them with pride. Yep, he would. But I'm not a wiring handyman. Now, if you looked at the inside of the box, you would see the wires come down, turn 90 degrees, really nice. Yeah, you would see that on the inside, but not on the outside. Robert, you can run a 2-inch pipe from the top plate to the top of the panel and put on an access panel above the panel. Then it can be insulated. Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I just have to see if I have room for it. If you notice, the center of the opening there, if you go straight up, there's a truss right there. And I've got wiring on either side of those. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to put in anything that would allow for that. But I like the idea. I just don't know if it'll happen. Steve puts styrofoam where the wires are. Well, again, if I decide to add something later, if I decide to add another switch or outlet or something, I'd have to go through that foam as well. So that's where I'm kind of, I'll probably just finish it out with some insulation, but I'm just thinking about it. Robert, I'll take the gulag over the goulash. Well, I don't know. Riding around on a horse with a big clown head on, with your hands tied behind your back, you may change your mind after a few minutes. James says cellulose. Okay. Well, that could work, but I'm not. I don't have anything ready to do that sort of stuff. Marshall went to the doctor once and said I'd lost weight and wondered why. I asked him if he wanted to come over for dinner. Then he might know why. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to come for dinner at your house, Marshall. A 70 Maverick, run conduit and insulate. Thank you. That's a good idea. Let's see. Karsten, goulash national. Oh, goulash is the national dish of Hungary. See, I still don't know what defines it. What makes it goulash? How does that get the name goulash? There has to be something that ties them together. Ray, my grandfather spent some years in a gulag when he was captured on the Russian front. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. That is not good. When he was captured on the Russian front. So now, if I read it, I don't know who it was. I mean, the Germans were attacking Russia. So I don't know where the U.S. got involved on the Russian front, if they did. But I'm glad he made it out of there safely. The Horton David, hamburger helper only works if the hamburger is ready to ask for help. Hi, from Denver. What was it? The first vacation movie? How do you like your helper, Clark? This is pretty good even without the meat. I think is something what he was saying. Goulash is Russian, I think. Well, I think Carson said it's the national dish of Hungary. So I don't know. Okay, so Ray says German soldier during World War II. Okay, well, I mean, I'm glad you cleared that up, because I was thinking for a second, my mind was like, wait a minute, Russian's German, so okay. Well, I'm glad he survived, and apparently he continued to have family, so that's good. That's good. Troy, per Google, goulash is a soup or stew of meat and vegetables seasoned with paprika and other spices. See, so goulash, a soup or stew, you could call anything a goulash if it had meat in it and vegetables. I don't get it. It's stew. It's stew. Just tell us it's stew. Thank you for that, Troy, by the way. Charlie Settlement, a highly seasoned Hungarian soup or stew of meat and vegetables flavored with paprika. See? So it just has to have meat, vegetables, and paprika, and it's goulash. I learned something today. Here I thought I was just eating stew. I thought I was just having stew. I didn't realize I was having goulash. So I guess if you took a can of like Campbell's vegetable soup and you mixed in it had some meat in it and threw a little paprika, you could just call it goulash. James, imagine beef stew with more meat and tomatoes and with some type of noodle. Okay. Well, you got me with more meat. That's good. Tomatoes, I like tomatoes. And some type of noodle. All right. That sounds good. Charlie, Troy, can we get back either coffee or cars? Yeah, sure. Why not? Ray's laughing. Horton, goulash is better than ramen noodles, but it still tastes like you were poor. Well, I don't know about that. If it's got meat in it, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Ray, we used a stew meat for goulash. It's for cheaper cuts of meats. Okay. And Robert says there's a cheaper cut of meat these days. Yeah, it's hot dogs. Get your generic hot dogs. That's your cheaper cut of meat. You know, I went to the store the other day and was looking around for stuff, and yeah, there wasn't a lot of meat to choose from. First of all, but prices were definitely up. Thanks, Joe. Troy, Charlie wants to get back to talking about beating out dents and ticking off the older folks. Yeah. James, cheaper cut is Spam. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Pound for pound, which one's cheaper? Hot dogs or spam? Have we degraded now to where we're talking about the quality of hot dogs over spam? Okay. We need to just switch gears. Charlie Seidelman, hot dogs, that's not meat. Yeah. Ray, they're saying chicken is going up soon. Some bird flu. Yeah, there's always going to be some sort of bird flu they come up with. It's like everything else. Yeah, there's a problem here and a problem there. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I wish I had more car-related stuff to talk about today, but I don't. I will say that I did complete my... oh, wait, here we go. Phil, have you found in your experience a stretched area in a panel can be too stretched and needs to be cut out and welded? Thanks. Actually, I have. If you go back to early videos that I did, the 35 Dodge truck is one prime example. Now, that was a heavier metal, and it had been hit in the back of the cab, and so it had some really deep oil can type of dents in it. Now, what I did is rather than cut out the piece, right? Because metal can only stretch so far. You can shrink metal in some instances and make it, cover on and come back into place. But what I prefer to do if I can't get it to flatten out is I will cut a slit through the middle of the deepest part of the crease. I will cut a slit. Then I will take those pieces and bring them back together, right? Now the metal has somewhere to go so that you're not fighting with it. Because if it's, if you're trying to flatten out a dip, it's just going to want to push against itself and create more problems. But I cut a slit in the middle of it, and I may need to take off a little more material on each side depending on how far it's stretched. And you can pull that back in, hammer and dolly it, get it flattened out, and then I tack weld it back together. And I've had great success doing that. Just a way to eliminate some material that's in the way. And I did it on that Dodge truck. I did it on, I think the black Camaro had a deep dent in the rocker panel that I did. It was a real bad dent, and I ended up cutting it. Actually, I think I may have cut a plus in that one so that I could bend the ears all the way back out, all four ears, and then tack it back together. So I've had good luck doing that when nothing else seems to work. So, Charlie, it's all B. Randon's fault. No, yeah, it's Sleepy Joe's fault. Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, I'll give you a bell for that. Boogie Bone, I don't know why they call it a hamburger helper. It does just fine by itself. Cousin Eddie. Yes, that's exactly right. Crash Rider, let's move on to dessert. Oh, man. Man, dessert? I'm all about dessert, too. We all just love to eat, right? Okay. So, Crash Rider, what's your favorite dessert? You brought it up. Tell me what your favorite dessert is. Now we need to know. Because I do love, pie and cake and ice cream and all that stuff. It's all good. Marshall, I always wanted to build a Thunderdome for my kids. My kids, 2 kids enter, 1 kid leaves. Think it would solve a lot of problems around our house anyways. Yeah, it might. James, I use a torch and ice with stretched metal. Yes, that works. But sometimes it seems like there's maybe too much of a stretch. I've run into that. And really, you can do that, but I think there are limitations as to how much you can actually move. Phil, that's what I did, a slit. Yes, and it works. Steve, heat to size of a dime, then quench. So there you go. Thank you, Steve. Wait, bell. Okay. Ray, love a good chocolate mousse. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. There's a place around here. There's a this stool keeps. It's not me, I swear. This stool creaks every time I move. Um, there is a place to eat near here. Uh, if you looked up Trilith, Trilith Studios, that's a new name for what was Pinewood Studios, and that is where they filmed a bunch of Marvel movies, some of the Spider-Man stuff, all kinds of stuff. There's like 26 sound stages or something at that place. But right next to it is a elementary school that was built in the mid 2000s that never got used. They built this school thinking there was going to be people moving into the area, and no, it just didn't happen. So when the studio moved in, a company called Hanna Brothers, I think it's Hannah, I think, Brothers, bought or at least lease that school and use the cafeteria to provide like restaurant. It's a restaurant. They also cater to all the movie sets that are right there. So it's a really cool deal. But the food is fantastic, and they have some tremendous desserts there. I mean, they do all kinds of cool stuff. I can't point to one and say this one's better than the other, but really, it's one of the places to go, and it's like it was at least a buffet style too. So that was, talking about. I know they had chocolate mousse there before and a variety of things, but it's hard to beat a place that has good food and good desserts. Phil, Greek desserts rock. Yeah, that's. I'll go with that. They do good food. Karsten, here in Europe, there are many old national dish. I don't think many know where they came from, where the name came from. Okay. Robert, yep, Greek gelato. What's the other one? Baklava or something? I don't know. I don't know how to say it. James, chocolate cake or pecan? I say pecan. Pie, and being Georgia, how do you say pecan? I say pecan. That's how I learned to say it growing up in Pennsylvania. Pecan. Some people say pecan, but I say pecan. Pecan pie. Here's something else. I don't know if you ever had this. How many of you have had shoe fly pie? How many? How many have had shoe fly pie? Answer that. Terry Keithley, I've switched my EFI 5.0 over to 2-barrel carb, a 7-8 distributor with vacuum advance. Is there anything else I need to change? Vacuum advance. You have to have a kick down. You have to make sure you have your kick down hooked up for your transmission. But I don't think you need anything else. I think that's all you need. You just got to make sure you have a kick down. Crash Ladder, cherry pie or chocolate cream pie? Yep, I like the chocolate cream. Cherry pie, sometimes. Troy, I've had good luck with the heat and ice. You have to be patient. It takes several times to get it smooth if the dent isn't too bad. Yes. Robert, baklava and orange pie. Now, I've not had orange pie. That sounds interesting. Greg, Barry, he likes to use the ice to fix the dents. Okay. That's good. Steve Grimes, shoe fly pie, yummo. Yeah. A lot of people, I would probably say most of the population have never heard of shoe fly pie. I would just be honestly, most people have not heard of shoe fly pie. The Horton, rhubarb. Yes, rhubarb. And just go ahead and say strawberry rhubarb pie is even better, in my opinion. Strawberry rhubarb. Good. James, back to cars. Trying to find a pre-91 Ford AOD for my Mustang. It's really getting hard to find for my trans conversion. Okay. A pre-1991 AOD. Well, what would those have come in? What would those? When you say that, like, Would that have been in like the Mustangs, or it would have been in like an LTD or Crown Vic, or you know, because if we can, I mean, I can keep my eyes open. If I see something when I'm at the U Pullet Yard or something, I may be able to help, but I don't know. But need to know what, or like trucks. I don't know which ones matter. So, Karsten, the kickdown is on the carburetor. Yes, but he has to make sure it has the rod that connects to, or whatever cable, however it's driven, connects to the transmission. Ray Buckman, yes, rhubarb and strawberry. Yummo. Yes. Yes. Good stuff. Gerald Reedy, today's National Chocolate Cake Day. That would be a great dessert. I did not know that. Let me tell you this. Growing up, honestly, I can't tell you how many times I used to bake chocolate cakes. Because I would be home by myself at like 13, 14, 15 years old. And we didn't have like, no any food to eat. So my mom had a chocolate cake recipe. Yeah, her recipe from scratch. I used to bake chocolate cakes from scratch. And then I would eat like half of it. If not the whole thing. I mean, I would make from scratch chocolate cake just so I'd have something to eat. So, anyway, chocolate cake is good. And German chocolate cake. Actually, if you look up, here's a trivia for you. Why is it called German chocolate cake? Don't go for the obvious answer. Why is it German chocolate cake? Robert, my grandmother used to make souffle. She also made a really good pudding pie. Yeah, that sounds good. Terry says he has extra. What do we have extra of? Are you talking about the kickdown stuff? Steve, does anyone know where to get the metal strip that holds the weather strip to the bottom of the door on a Mustang? That is a good question. I know you had asked me that earlier on my Facebook page. Steve's working on an older vehicle, something from the, I don't know what it was, 50s or 60s. But the little metal strip that holds the gasket at the bottom of the door. I don't know of anybody that makes those. So if anybody has any input where they know that somebody makes that strip that you can re-weld it back to the car, let us know. Or I was thinking find a door that maybe has been wrecked and drill out the spot welds and salvage it. Maybe that would work. But that's a good question, Steve. The Horton, I got an AOD from an 83 Continental. I used the kickdown rod instead of a cable. Just set the kickdown at wide open throttle on the carb and you are good to go. Okay. Good information. All right. Let's see here. James, Mustang, Crown Vic, Grand Marquis V8 Thunderbird, they all differ in only the governor on the output shaft, which was calibrated for weight and performance. Okay, so which one would be best? Would you want one from a heavier vehicle or a lighter vehicle? Is probably the question, or does it really matter? Let's see here. Robert says he sent a pic of the Greek gelato. Okay. I just gained 10 pounds. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I can't go there. Can't go there. I would eat all that. Thank you. Robert, the strip is not available. I looked. Got to make it yourself. Well, that's the other option, Steve, is to make it yourself. It's not that like it's a really heavy duty piece, but I would either make it yourself or salvage it from another door. is all I can recommend. Bob, I believe it's because it's very sweet. You talking about the German chocolate? Nope. No. German chocolate has it's named that for a reason that doesn't we always think it's made in Germany, right? I don't think that's the answer. Dave, shoe fly pie is awesome, but you probably don't know that if you're not from the Pennsylvania area. That is very true. I mean, I've asked people before. I've talked to people locally who are bakers, like they like to bake stuff, and I said, "Oh, well, make me a shoe fly pie," and they're like, "What? What's that?" I said, "Shoe fly pie. If you want to make a pie, make me a shoe fly pie," and they never do. They never do. Let's see. Trans AOD 1989 needs rebuilt. Crown Vic. So, are you saying that's what you have, or you have one of those available? Oh, you have an extra one. You have an extra one. Okay, that's what he was talking about. That's what he was saying. He has an extra. So, James, Terry has an AOD Trans that needs rebuilt out of a Crown Vic. So maybe you two can get together. I don't know. Jerry, yeah, that gelato there was awesome. I'll bet. The Horton, it's named German chocolate, but they never heard of it. But I think it's called that to tick them off. No, actually, it's not. Nope. I'll tell you this: it has nothing to do with Germany. I learned this like a couple months ago. I was like, what? Really? So, James, doesn't matter, but no Lincolns because they are longer and different gearing to make shifts super soft, and F-150s are tougher, but F-150 are tougher, but it's made for more torque. Okay. So maybe you can get together with Terry somehow. I mean, you could both send me an email if you want. If I have James's email, I know that. I probably have Terry's too, but I'd have to look. If you wanted to hook up, maybe work something out. I don't know. Maybe you can work something out. Horton, rebuilding a trans is rocket surgery. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't do transmissions. No interest in it. I could do it. I know I could. I could look at the manual. I could do this, turn that, remove that, clean this, put this up, whatever. I know I could. I don't want to. I have a friend who rebuilds transmissions. I take him my transmission. I come back. I hand him money. He hands me back my transmission. And I'm done. That's the way I like it. Because he has all the equipment. All the equipment to clean and test and whatever. You know, if you're not geared up for it, to me it's not worth it. Just not worth the time. Just not worth the time. Oh. Actually, Terry James is in North Georgia. Like, North Georgia. Let's see, Bob. I'm looking for a 67 Mustang owner's book. It comes with every new car. Yeah. We keep an eye out, but I know I haven't seen any of those. James, my career is 20 years of being a Ford Trans Tech. Last Trans I rebuilt before I retired was a 2021 Mustang 10R80 10-speed automatic. Oh boy, yeah. Like I said, I don't even want to touch them. I'll take them out and put them in, but I don't want to rebuild any of that stuff. That sounds really complicated, by the way. 10R80 10-speed, yeah, that sounds really complicated. Thomas, German is the last name of the guy that made the cake. Yep. Yep. Just like hamburger or sandwich, right? Sandwich was the name of the guy that invented the sandwich. That's the only reason it's called that. Hamburger, whatever. It's just a name. The Horton, I think I could rebuild a manual trans, but there's a transmission shop in Denver that has what I need, and they're originally priced too. Yeah, I don't want to mess with it. Karsten, there's a nice YouTube video on a rebuilt AOD. Not that hard. Yeah, but I would rather. Let's put it this way. I would rather spend my time doing something else than to, let's say, take the chance. I rebuild the transmission and I put it together and something doesn't work. I miss something, whatever. Then I take it all back apart, take it all back out of the car, work on it, blah, 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 blah. I would just rather not, honestly. I would just rather not. Terry is letting James know that he is in West Central Illinois. So I don't know what the distance would be for that. Randy, if I remember right from school, they called it German chocolate because of the chef that cooked it using a sweet chocolate. I could be wrong. Well, it was from what I understand, it was the name of the guy. His name was German, like John German or something, is what I know. Jerry says maybe the guy was still German though. Well, maybe, but I don't. That's not why they named it German chocolate cake. It was because he created it. Who knew? Throwing some coconut on top of a chocolate cake, you could give it a different name. The Horton, most of the time in Autotrans is one clutch plate that burned out. Yeah. I'm just not interested. I'd rather be welding or cutting and just here. Bring it to me when it's done. I'd be much happier. Okay. We are over an hour in. Oh, I will say, I mentioned previously that the Yes Welder video that I made for Yes Welder for their multi-process machine, they responded back to me and said they were very happy with it. Very happy with my video. So they'll probably be posting that on their YouTube channel somewhere. It's kind of like an in-depth, what I did is an in-depth kind of instructional video where it was, this does this does that, this goes here, this goes there, kind of thing. So they were very happy with it. And they've actually asked me if I wanted to do some other videos for them, which I might, depending on what they need, but I might. Randy, I think it was English guy named something German, as you said. Something German. The Horton, I gave some German chocolate to an East German exchange intern, and she loved it. Yeah, I'm sure. Good stuff. Crash Letter, several 67 Mustang owners manuals available on eBay. So there you go. Check out eBay for the owner's manuals. Richard, you can get reproduction owner's manual on Amazon. They're about $20. That is where I bought one for my 65 Mustang, and since they are reprints, no torn pages or anything. So there you go. Two inputs on the 67 manual. Good call. Terry, the exhaust manifolds I'm running are 89 5.0 T-Bird. Okay. Randy says, hit thumbs up, everyone. Yes. Robert is talking to Charlie. I rebuilt a couple of them and a few 350s and 400s. I don't want to do it again. Yeah. Dawn, checking in. Sorry for being quiet. I'm welding. Okay. Not a problem. James, I find out the clutch burns out due to two factors: pump failure or being failure, then loss of fluid burns up the clutch. Yep. Or bearing failure. Yeah. The Horton, I have a 66 original manual, and it shows a woman's foot using the throttle. I don't think Mustang was meant to be a man's car. They were actually, the target audience was, I think, I don't know what exactly. I know they talked about how they wanted it to be so anybody could drive it, like, kind of thing, you know. And maybe that was part of it, was that marketing. Robert, back to drywall mud here. Yeah, I'm going to go here in just a second. And Terry, gooseberry pie, never had that. Never had that. But I would try it. I would try it. Okay, I'm going to go. I've got to get stuff done on the wall over here. I have more things to do this evening. And I also plan to be back on Monday at 7 as normal. I don't see any changes in that. I hope everybody has a good weekend. If you can, find some shoe fly pie, some strawberry rhubarb pie, some gooseberry, whatever we had said earlier. Enjoy your dessert this evening. Have some coffee with it, coffee and chocolate. Good stuff. But anyway, I'm going to call it a day. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.